Hello. We are going through.
Okay,
Huey,
there
take
we
us in, my
go.
friend.
Hey, beautiful. Alrighty, Ember Your Sports. We are finally here. We've been waiting a bit, but we are back. Ember Esports. We are live. We are here for our week 2, our Magma League, the Spire Rats versus the Coopa Troopas Black. It is again everyone's first week. We are just getting into the thick of things here. And before we get into our lobby, I just want to say a huge shout outs. Thank you to Natal for the huge raid. I love it so much. And of course, a huge love birthday to the one, the only Sekio. Yes, I think that is all the announcements we got, and now we can get ourselves ready for the game. Much love to the homies as usual. Jack, please break us into our draft
Absolutely.
as soon as we get into it.
We've got a great game today. And with this Master 100 cap league, you start to get some more of the
Mhm.
high level players. You also start to get some more meta like drafts. But for tonight, we've got a really good mix, especially coming out of Koopa Troopa. They like to play their own style. Right now, their support, who I'm going to call 17 because it's XVII, and that's the Roman numeral for 17. And I doubt that their
Yeah,
name
no,
is just
perfect.
XVI. They
XY.
they have only lost for the entire year of 2026. They have only lost one game on Nautilus, and it is last week. They are 11-0 in solo queue on Nautilus, and I have not seen that high undefeated streak. But got it last week, didn't win. The 80 carry for Koopa Trooper Black, Husky Templar, I think is probably the best player in the league. They're already back master. They're playing every single champ down there. They have a huge advantage over uh, reincarnated back to life OJ Simpson, who is the 80 carry for the Spire Rats, seems to play mostly AP carries. So seems that the typical champs don't fit, you could say, onto that guy down there.
No, 100%. 100%. The names are insane, but I think that just shows what leagues uh does to people at this level, dude. Just to get up here is insanity to say the least. So if you guys have been watching Ember League earlier this week, this is the highest we have out right now. So this is going to be the top of the top, like Jack has mentioned too. This is going to be some of the new meta in the new season, and of course in Ember League. So, like he said, man, write this down, take it down, as we're gonna start to see maybe to see if we see this. Excuse me, if we see this trickle down to our other leagues as well too. So I'm interested to see as soon as we do have the draft come up.
Yeah, and we are hopefully going to see one of the highest prio score champs this entire year. Jace could get played today.
Oh yeah,
Juggler for Koopa Troopa, Couch Potato plays it quite a bit, has been practicing it in solo queue. It's extremely strong. You can do all of your damage from, in the river without even having to gank a lane. You can completely blow up a target, not have to expose yourself to a full on gank and then scale incredibly well
hmm
into the late game. I think that it is going to be an issue for their top side, though, if they want to play aggressive, because Spirat's top laner, Arboreal, he plays all these bruisers that are super high level, super high scaling, and I think that your selling has a very unique bruiser pool, stuff like the Tryndamere, Yasuo top, and I don't know if they're going to be able to get into like a fist fight up there.
for sure. No, not with Jace. Jace also having the sustain in his hammer mode as well too. He's just gonna keep himself healthy. If he's in the jungle as well too, he's gonna just be able to just farm comfortably. It's a dangerous pick. Varus also one of those insane picks as well too. You gotta be extremely careful with those, and I think it's gonna really matter who's gonna be on blue side first and how they're gonna handle the bans and the picks as well too.
Yeah, we do have on our blue side Spire Rats, so they get a bit of an advantage, not only being the higher seed at 1-0 match record, and they did lose a game against Iceborne Suresh Stands, had a 2-1 series record, but obviously not as important when you walk away victorious. Whereas Koopa Troopas
hmm
got 2-0'd in quite quick fashion, as we're gonna
Really?
sprint into the draft. Very standard looking draft for the Spirats on the left
There
side.
it is.
And for our Koopa Troopa, first picking the Morgana Ash bottom lane. Really want to push in the Varus.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what the threat, as we mentioned. I said it. Varus is a very hot pick and ban right now, and now immediately is going to be picked up. I think Morgana, Ash are perfect picks into it. It is a flex pick though. It can go top. So I think that is a threat there. Rise is going to be shown. That's going to be for the mid. Melee, obviously, for support. But either way, that Ash Morgana is pretty sturdy picks into it. So I like where they're going. But I'm kind of still upset. It's kind of like a consolation prize. It's like, yeah, they got Varus. And in consolation, you get Morgana and Ash. And you have to use two picks to handle one. Like, so it's like, are you really winning, you know?
Yeah, it's one of the biggest problems you have early in a draft, especially at this point in a series, game one, everything but those first six bans are up and available. So if you're going to give over one of the strongest champions in the game, you want to counter that role. So you want to get a good AD in response, but you also kind of should grab a power pick as well. So
Right.
like Morgana's going to fall in the draft. There's no chance Spire Rats were like, well, we want Morgana as well. They can pick up, any good jungler. They end up getting the Oriana anyway, as does look like Jarvan. Mundo was hovered, but they ended up going with Jarvan, and now it's Mundo top into Scion. Obviously, it's a great matchup because they both just want to do nothing the whole time. But I actually think that Koopa Troopa rounded out this draft very well with their top side.
Yeah, no, I like the Mundo pick for Cooper Troopers there. Oh, the Oriana as well too. So you do see some of that wombo combo that they're going for, but I think I'm enjoying the Spire Rats' frontline a little more out of the J4 and the Scion. I can now, if I was playing in Varus and Rise's position, I feel more comfortable knowing I have a Scion either in front of me with R with his smash as well too, or at least split pushing and taking a lot of attention off while we try to siege another lane. Also, the flag and drag cataclysm from J4 as well too. So I think either I feel a lot more comfortable with the Spire Rats there too. And just to make sure if I heard right, Spire Rats and Cooper Troopers played, and Cooper Troopers were down 0-2 their first week.
Yeah, first week going down 0-2, starting the season at
Mm.
0-1. This is, I believe, I'm gonna double check before I say this. It is a single round robin regular season. So
Really?
you've got to get your
Right.
wins. You have
Oh, yeah.
got to get them. It
Mhm.
is double elimination once you get to the playoffs, but still, these are also early in the season. Like, if you're gonna lose a series, you want it to go 3 games because
Mhm.
you want that like stage practice, for lack of a
At
better term.
least.
You want to get the real game feel. And I think if we look at a draft like this is a great game to look at when reviewing drafts because, as you said, the early trades weren't really there. And now when you look, Spire Rats have all the damage they want. They have great frontline. They have great engage. They
Yep.
have great peel. And then when you look at the Koopa Troopers draft, I feel like 4 of these champs fit really well. And then I look and it was like, and what's Morgana going to be doing this game?
Yeah. So I feel Morgana's going to be lacking there just a bit. Unfortunately, the Black Shield's going to help the Dark Binding as well too. So you're going to want to be looking for those catch picks and picks there. But if you're not getting them, which I'm sorry, Zin and Oriana Mundo, you're not really looking for picks or catches as well there. Ash kind of brings in the utility with Enchanted Crystal Ice Arrow, but still overall, you catch somebody, where's the damage really coming from, you know? So it's lacking a lot. Also in frontline as well, too. You're putting a lot of eggs, or you're putting all your eggs, honestly, in the Oriana basket. And I don't know if that's the best pick going into Rise, which we talked a lot on Varus, but Rise is also a very strong champion right now in this current season, completely comfortable with the brand new mana items as well too. So it's like there's two threats that you really have to deal with, and then there's also Scion. The entire team is an issue. where I feel there's a lot of, I don't know, I'm not really seeing it from Koopa Troopas.
Agreed. And we are going to see on the Rift how this thing shakes out after the other side of a short break.
And we are back. And unfortunately, not on the Rift here. Just having a few hiccups there. You know what it is. It is a small indie company, of course. Always big shout outs to Riot. And hey, there we are. I think we just skipped 50 seconds, so it's not the end of the world. I think we are good.
Yeah, we are in, and I can see now why there was a little bit of confusion getting into the lobby, because we have quite a few players in either using subs or just in strange spots. Top laner
Interesting.
for Spire is Jolts, not a Boreal, so we do have a substitute being used up there. And then it looks like on Coopa Troopa, you've got either top laner, or you're selling, who's typically the top laner, is playing bot lane. I don't know who that AD carry is. Mid laner's got streamer mode on. Couch Potato's there, and then they have a top laner who's not listed. So for us, we're just casting League. This is something for Maj to deal with later.
Okay, cool. So sweet. Awesome. This is fantastic. So lock in though, guys. Again, highest league here. Always, of course, big shout outs to everyone tuning in and keeping it locked as we do start this game off. Nothing going to really set off anything just yet, or set off any alarms. I see just about even all across the board. Might see a little bit of action there on the top lane there, but other than that, right now, just going to try and get our waves together, get everything set, as we do see runes and masteries, nothing too far, but J4 in enemy territory. We might see the rotation over. Sion might be able to pick up a solo bolo as well, too, so that will be a free kill in the top lane there. Rise flying in, and we're going to get a 3v3 over to Grump. J4 will get the secure. The flag is out. I'm not sure why the drag didn't go, but Zing going to follow very hard. The flash not going to be there. Ash going to match it. It's going to be 2 for 2 for the Grump. Milo by himself looking for a soccer kick, and no, it's actually going to be 3 for the Grump. And yes, sir, guys, take that down. A master gameplay at work at its finest.
Absolute chaos goes disastrously for the Spire Rats. They 3v3 in the jungle. They had first rotation. They got there first and just can't lock down Xin Zhao. You were right. The flag went out, but there was no drag. They didn't actually knock the guy up and take him down, so he flashes out, gets the Triumph health back. Once January Snow dies, so you get the first blood in top side, but you lose 3 in the bottom side jungle. And all the meanwhile, you know, Ash is just pushing this lane and hasn't had to reset yet, so we will see what kind of items are purchased in this bottom lane.
We don't get to see the entire gold setup. You'll get to see the tier for Varus, so it's not going to be a lot of scaling. Just going to get that little... it's the something axe. I always forget that, but it's a little. It's better than a tier for sure. I'll give you that. Does also have the biscuit, so have a little more sustain. The top side as well too. Just gonna be able to get a bead over to the cinder. So Sion feeling very comfortable right now into this matchup.
Yeah, pretty clear that this top lane matchup is going quite favorably, as another invade. Last one went pretty poorly, but they're trying it again.
They do have the numbers here, but now Sion's going to match up. Sion, or excuse me, Zin finding the autos, the passive going through and going to be able to get it, but now Rise is here. We'll be able to find the shutdown, and that's going to be an easy pickup there. He's going to miss a few minions there, but overall not the end of the world, as everyone's going to now just reset, get back to lane.
That was a very early rotation for Miracle Whips on the Milio to be up at that play. Dragon hasn't even spawned yet, and we'll see how the ramifications on quests, but I'm not sure anyone's really thinking about that. Top lane's still going very strong, and Mundo didn't pick up an assist, despite, I think, walking over for a little bit. So they didn't even get a kill over there, actually, so
yeah,
doesn't matter. It's just still so tragic in this lane. Still has flash, but I mean, what are you going to do? You're level down on the Sion. He's going to push you in over and over again. Only thing that Spire really have going for them on this top side is that Rise picked up a kill in that jungle skirmish.
That's the best for them. Also the buffs as well, too. That blue buff going to help them out a bit. Also the red. So the few minions that he did miss for the rotations, it's not going to be the end of the world. Everything is pretty stable in terms of CS. Overall, mid does have just about a 10 CS lead. The real issue is top lane, and I'm wondering what they're going to do for that top lane. I think they're just going to answer it by, we'll deal with that later, and take some focus here for the first Drake of the game. There goes a nice flag and drag there for him at J4. January Snow finding it, no ults available, and that is a lot of red on the map as they just re-rotate, regroup, find another pick there, and now Couch Potato feeling a lot better. Gets the smite in, and that's going to be the first Drake in their pocket for the Coopa Troopas.
Spire Rats get absolutely baited into a fight. That was
Mhm.
a good triple knockup by January Snow, but there's no ulti, there's no follow-up. Don't have ult on Varus, don't have ult on Jarvan. Sion, your strongest member, can't collapse down. And it results in this really clumped up fight where Ryze really shines through in this mid lane matchup. Struggles a little bit into Orianna because she just outranges him slightly. But when you get the blue buff, when you're able to land multiple EQs, you can equalize that damage difference. Smooth is going to be careful.
Oh, man. Choo-choo, see you later, Jolts yet again. Sad now is definitely sad now with the old two. Is going for the Heartsteel build. And yeah, just only has one giant spell right now. So that's going to be rough right there. And I'm pretty sure right now, Jolts definitely at least has Sunfire Cape in the pocket. Went a defensive build over the Black Cleaver first. And I think that's actually kind of paying off right now because once that Sunfire Cape is purchased, they can kind of now start setting their sights for some offensive weapons.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've got plenty of damage right now with what Ryze and Varus can do, plus Jarvan. And then once the late game, even when the mid game hits, Ryze and Varus will more than make up for maybe not going for a Titanic Hydra or Black Cleaver or something. You're just getting ahead of where your job is now. Get those tank items early. And as we look back towards this bot side, with it being a sub in the bot, you're selling going from top lane to support. Maybe that answers why that Morgana was so highly prioritized. Maybe this is just what they feel most comfortable on. But kind of showing the ramifications overall on the draft, because that's where this advantage is leaning the top side, something that they were not able to prioritize.
They were able. Oh, they are going to be able to find a pick there. Xin just taking a little too much there, deep in enemy territory. Is going to get 2 ults out, but still is going to be able to get picked up. Make that 3 as Ryze comes down for the gank as well, too. EQ is popping off the flash, going crazy from both Morgana and Ashe. No black shield as well either. So Varus will be able to pick that up, and it just seemed it was going Coopa Troopa's ways. And now, out of nowhere, biding their time, the Spire Rights have now been able to kind of stabilize everything and actually being able to flip the gold actually to their side.
That was a really good pressure on the bot side. They force a commitment down there, and funnily enough, Coopa Troopers were the one that started that by making Xinjiao move down, but Jarvan responds immediately, as now it looks like Jolt's getting caught.
He's got to be careful here. He's tanky. Oh, he has a train. He's out. Honestly, it's kind of funny how he kind of canceled it out. If they chased just a little further, they might have been able to catch there, but they just gave up on the hunt. Voids are still available, and right now they do bring back the gold to their side just by 200 though. But I still feel that the Spire Rats picked up a lot there.
And a great solo kill by
Oh, wow.
the mid laner Coopa. Unironically, I did that today. I was fortunate enough to play this Orianna Ryze matchup, and once you get ulti available, Ryze has to be so careful. You can die very easily, and does give them a little bit of extra punch if this Orianna gets ahead, but you're seeing as the Void Grubs are taken, covered by
This is huge.
Orianna, they have to try and keep pushing these advantages early because the scaling is so in favor of Spire Rats with the Ryze, Varus, Sion. They need this Muda to come back online, and they really need to get ahead and keep scaling and climbing with these objectives stacking, because otherwise, if they just try and wait things out, Spire Rat's comp will come online.
Yeah, 100%. It's not fully shut down to the point where you can kind of just, kind of put your feet up. You have to kind of realize that Scion is still definitely far ahead. Mid did a very well job there, keeping Spore and Rise in check, but the items are still coming in. The rod isn't in just yet at 11 minutes, but it's coming. So no matter what happens, it's gonna grow. It's just a monster lying in wait. So I do like the focus in that the torch is available, and here comes Cyan yet again. It doesn't seem that anyone is available or is coming for Sad's help at all. Scion a little hesitant there, making sure that no one is there either. He's like, wait, I can do this? Yeah, just gonna pick up the wave there. Force the wave to crash. Maybe look for a plate there. Yeah. Nice easy pickups here. It's almost a 30 CS gap there, unfortunately.
Yeah, and he could have gotten that kill too, just didn't. Maybe he got a little cocky, thought that the slam and the shield break was going to do enough as, ooh, piercing arrow just wide to the right. Another dragon picked up. That's 2 for Coopa Troopas. They're doing exactly what they have to do, leveraging their early game cryo as Scion still looking for kills up here, can easily break the passive. It's just now that Sad now is playing the safe, they're going to have to dive.
Oh, here comes Rides. Here comes Rides. Able to get the ult right quick. And yeah, knows that there's... Oh, Flash was available. But just knows that there's no spell break there and unlocked in through the CC. Not going to be able to... Oh, already used ult. So, after the first... exchange. So, nice pickup there. And it just seems that Cooper Trooper is just so far ahead, and then all of a sudden the Spire Rats do one thing, and then everything is just back to even.
Their coordination and movement around their map is really shining through. Rise ults up to the top side, ends up only missing 1 melee minion for that entire play, and they picked up a kill. So while the XP lead is continuing to grow in Oriana's favor, and she's zoning him off the wave very well, she's also shoving the wave in over and over again, something that Oriana can't really help but do based on just the nature of all her abilities being AoE. And now Rise again just clears the wave, dips into Fog of War, moves down to the bot side, and with Varus completing their quest, once Rise completes their boots, we'll see if they have theirs done as well. I assume they're still quite a ways from it because of all the roaming, but Varus can move into mid lane, Rise can go to the side lane, and you're just waiting until this rod is done, until the Seraphs comes online. You build Actualizer, and since they made the item cheaper, Rise did suffer a little bit of a damage nerf to his W, but they made one of his best items cheaper, so I think overall it's a pretty good buff.
Some of the new season items as well, too, kind of fit in his pocket as well, too. I feel overall just the mid upgrades plus the mid quest, he really benefited than Lost. Oh, speaking of getting lost here, the nice Cataclysm on it to your selling. I'm trying to not make the joke there. Ash flashes at the 10%, trying to get a little something back there. They're low. Drake is still about 230 away, so it is kind of just getting that tempo, keeping that momentum moving forward there for them. But other than that, it's just gonna be a kill there.
Because Scion coming in.
Speaking of a kill here, man, Scion coming in hot. Got a ward for that. Spore gonna be able to pick that up. Oriana got a lot of damage on the tower though.
Did almost got the entire thing down, and I was just about to say, only real concern here for Spire Rats is stopping this Oriana from continuing to snowball, and they do that by having Jolts come down with a quick fly in. They do have their quest completed. I'm just realizing now on the UI that the way that they show quest completions is by just covering up the keystone, so you don't get to see the keystone the rest of the game. So
that's great.
Gotta remember.
Great. What it was before, that's great. Well, did you see the 3 rotation in? Forest really falling behind here. And then, yeah, as expected, Scion going to be able to get that first tower there. Got some anti-heal built in as well, too. My man got some damage as well, too, with the driller. So, feeling pretty comfortable. As we do see, they're going to be their first focus here for some macro is going to be Rift Herald, and it is going to be secured there.
Yeah, someone's got to pick up the eye, though. Jarvan's looking to get some deep vision or clear ward. Scion has it in their pocket now, so will be quite obnoxious.
Uh-oh.
Doesn't go for the crystalline hit. Maybe could have gotten
Surprised.
that turret all the way taken, but the rise is scary enough.
Yeah, and still gonna get locked down here. Million, gonna keep the fire hot. But now Zin is coming in for the turnaround. The ult from Millie gonna help, but not enough. Couch Potato is going to be able to find a kill there. Ooh, nice dodge of Crystal Ice Arrow from Ash as Varus throws the Chain of Corruption. Kind of handling this 2v1 pretty well, but losing a lot of ground here in terms of towers on both lanes here, mid and bot.
Yeah, I think that mid skirmish showed one of the weaknesses for Xin Zhao in this composition is, yes, you're going to be able to dodge away from a lot of Varus's damage because of the Crescent Guard, but Ryze is a very short-range mage. He's going to be able to get up close and personal, and even with Xin Zhao there, they were almost able to take down Orianna. So Ryze is going to prove a scaling problem, and really impressed by, very impressed by OJ Simpson right now and their ability to deal with the 2v1 under turret, get damage down, and now trying to stop this dragon stacking.
Let's see. It is at 2, so you really don't want them to get soul point right now. Morgana trying to find a Dark Binding is going to miss just a bit. Going to get the Black Shield onto herself as the Flag and Drag goes in. Going to find J4. Jolt's going to come down themselves. Let's see if they're going to be able to help as the Cataclysm is going to land. Couch Potato finding January. That's going to be 2, but Sion has the pass pushing on it to the back line and putting out tons of damage. And I think the answer was right to just focus on everybody else right now as the rest of the team is on the run. Ryze cannot get that 1v4 right now. Varus getting the fire and the heals from Emilio, but it's not going to be enough because they need the peels as they find 2 more. Emilio by himself yet again, no tower. As Xin tries to close it, he tries to get something, but that's going to be the ace for the Coopa Troopas this first game.
The Xin Zhao Orianna combo proves just too strong. They're able to take down Jarvan before the fight even really starts. And once Dr. Mundo teleports in, yes, Jolts was there in the back line, but it really doesn't matter how far behind the Mundo is. It doesn't matter that he's only gotten 1 assist despite that last fight having 5 kills in it. It's a Mundo with a Warmogs. All he has to do is stand there and get hit. And he did that job extremely well. They walk out with the Dragon too. All this stacking that we're talking about, the scaling on the side of Spire Rats, it doesn't matter if you don't get there. If this game's over by 25 minutes, if Xin Zhao is at 3 items before your 80 carry or mid laner can get there, you know, these theories you have about the draft aren't really relevant.
No, it makes a lot of sense here, but they might be able to find a pick here onto the Orianna there. Oh, Scion's Jolt unfortunately can't find the ult, but the EQ Cataclysm putting out tons of damage there. As now Morgana's on the run, caught out by themselves. And that's going to find 2 for the side of the Spire Rats and just get them a little bit of breathing room and get themselves a little closer to that late game that they need.
There's a good stack on the top side. They move the Jarvan over. These enhanced blast cones allowing them access into the lane right away. They get the kill onto Orianna, probably the highest prio target. Now, no ult on Sion, no flash.
Yeah, super unexpected from that Zion using that blast cone to get into that blind spot. And just in case that there is some kind of form of escape, he's going to get hit by the arrow. And now Sion in a passive is going to get farmed like a cannon. And then they're just going to continue moving forward, trying to set the sights and siege this mid tower as Baron is going to be spawned. Munda coming around the corner. But it's going to have to kind of respect that damage between the 3 of these Spire Rats here. As now the 4 on the side of Coopa Troopas are now ready and now looking to try to maybe set position for this Baron. And I'm feeling pretty comfortable. Has 3 Drakes here and now can go for the soul as well too.
Yeah, we haven't really been able to talk much about Ashe, how far ahead they are. Kraken Slayer, Phantom Dancer in inventory. Don't know what they're gonna be able to buy off of this back, but they've got a kill and a turret's worth of gold they're sitting on almost all the way towards the Bork. This is a champ that scales very well now. We're also seeing Death's Dance being built on Xin Zhao. Their strength is going to continue over the course of the game. 2 minutes until Dragon Soul spawns. And you're seeing on this bottom side, Rise matching the Mundo. Makes a lot of sense. No MR built yet, and a ton of damage is able to come through.
Yeah, nice Rift Herald there too. Going to miss the smash on, unfortunately, but is able to get the mid tower. Not the end of the world, but could have gotten a little more out of that. And oh, Morgana walking in blind here. The nice EQ. Going to have to use the Black Shield. Nice focus and a piercing shot. Going to pierce right through Morgana and get themselves another kill. Now at advantage here. They might try to grab this Baron as Orianna is coming in from the top lane here. Ults are still available for all sides here, all sums too, so it will be a crazy one as Rise is pushing onto the bot lane. TP available though to come over as soon as the team needs them, as Mundo is going to match it. Mundo also with their TP as well.
It's interesting the way that Spire Rats are playing out some of these fights where they get a pick and then they kind of like are like frantically looking for more. They're running into the enemy jungle. They're trying to find more kills. And it's like, you guys still have the scaling advantage. These are good pickups to get to just stop the enemy team from getting further and further ahead. But you have to focus on this dragon. And Zinjao get caught.
Here we go. Nice. Zin can't be walking through the bush, but feeling very confident. And honestly, look at what he has. Nice Cataclysm, though, to match the flash out of it. Now Zin in trouble, having to wait, but no one can match up to it. But now Sion coming to close out on it to this Mundo, who isn't that big. The ult going to pop and is going to fall. The Scuttle as well, too, is going to be picked up. And now, just a few seconds before Drake, I think they're going to go for the quick pickup here for Drake into Baron.
I'm surprised they didn't just kill Xin Zhao as well. They had so many opportunities where they locked him down, but they played so safe, respecting the enemy team's damage. But Ashe wasn't there, Orianna wasn't there. It really was just a 3v5. But they play it smart. They don't overcommit. They get 2 kills. They get the dragon, stop the scaling. And now Baron is still up. They have to reset their waves. Siren moved down, but they're moving on to mid.
Oh, nice bait there. Forcing Ashe to look to the left there, but Morgana, the support god themselves there, going to be able to get the Black Shield there before the overdrive of Rise can really finish Ashe. As Melio going to strut themselves there too. Gonna stop and cleanse that CC there from Orianna and keep themselves healthy. Very beautiful show of engage and disengage from both teams.
Yeah, Spire Rats played a little cocky again. They could have just killed Ashe with one more auto attack from Varus, but I feel like maybe there was a discussion about who gets the kill. Does someone need the money or something? And in the end, Ashe, I mean, it was flash for flash right away. Could have been, or still is, just a great trade. Ashe is not going to have flash up for the Baron. Won't even have it for the next dragon still. And Morgana, really needs to play well to provide a lot of value, just sitting on some damaging items, decent amount of heal cut that will come through as well. But you look comparatively what Melio can provide: AoE healing, AoE cleanses, shields, knockback damage. Doing a lot, and Reverend very far ahead, almost dragged into the binding.
Almost there, but Zin is able to find Rise there. I don't think there's going to be any escape there. Gonna pop the shield, the Archangel shield, but not going to be enough. The Crystal Ice Arrow going to be used, but it is going to be whiffed from J4. Not going to need to dive, but with Rise, a lot of the damage source here from the Spire Rats gone. I think their eyes are set for this Baron, and I don't know if the Spire Rats are going to be able to challenge them here out. But we do see Sion in the bot lane shoving hard.
Yeah,
as they are taking a lot of damage here onto the Baron here. Mundo trying to frontline here. The 5 of them very low. Sion with the TP is here quick. They are able to get J4, but it is going to be a trade for the Zin. Sion pushing forward, another knockup. The tackle forward. That's going to be 2 for Varus with the piercing shot. Mundo on the run, very scared and not going to be able to get away. That's going to be 3. Somehow, some way, the Spire Rats are bringing this back. The Super Seed going to be able to bring themselves, using the Q to hold them back. The piercing shot is going to miss, but the raining arrows is going to be enough. The Chain of Corruption, just a little extra, but hey, we definitely take those GGs, and very well played to the Spire Rats for that exchange.
A huge amount of push and pull over the course of this game. It started because Rise got caught on the side lane, and then it ends with Jolts finding an enormous decimating smash onto 3. Varus falls over the piercing arrow. Just like that, 26 minutes into the game, Baron buff and fully scaled members for the Spire Rats. Scion's got a Titanic Hydra and about to build their 3rd item. Jarvan's indexing it into tank perfectly. Rise about to complete their 3rd item, and Varus onto their 4th. This is going to get very, very difficult for Coopa Troopa Black. They're gonna have to find some really cool engages. Gonna have to try some neat stuff out because they can't just front to back into the Rats. They have to find picks, take members out, and it's gonna be even harder to take Varus out of the fight because they just finished their Edge of Night.
Oh yeah, this has been the biggest lead here, about a 4K gold lead between both teams right now. So it's going to be a hard one to get. You are one away from a Drake, but now it's going to be a challenge to even get to the Dragon Pit now. Every Dragon missed is another 5 minutes of you not getting soul. I do like the split push here coming in from Sad, but I don't know if it's going to be really enough right now, because Scion should be able to match that no problem, because you need to kind of be with the team right now.
Yeah, they'd like to have Jolts down there with them at the Dragon, but they do have 2 other scaled up members. Milio can keep Jarvan alive for long, but they can't get over Zealous here. Ashe and Orianna provide a ton of damage. Xin Zhao also sitting on a 2.5 or 3 damage items, depending on how you look at it. They reclaim the river, and it's gonna get difficult, but now Jolts is moving over, and Mundo went back to base, so they have the numbers advantage to reclaim this river position.
They know Jolts is with them there because of the vision, but like we said, it's going to be a lot easier said than done right now, and you really don't want to give this Drake up, but you're going to have to. You don't have your front line there. We mentioned it in draft that, hey, we don't like how much frontline is lacking, and it just shows right there how much it's really taking, especially now that we're getting to that late game. The 25-minute window to close out this game looked very believable for Coopa Troopas, but now we are looking at the 28-minute mark, and it's looking like a complete different game. Chain of Corruption going to land onto Ashe there. Morgana going to try to match. Scion going to split away both the support and the ADC. They are going to flash forward, going to get the second tower as Mundo and Zion try to flank the back line, but they are so tanky, and the response was quick. Mundo is now caught in the Cataclysm from J4 as Varus is going to be unstoppable, just pushing forward. That was 1 for 3 right now for this side of the Spire Rats. So I think overall that was a fantastic push there, and really just showing the scaling comp's power here.
Absolutely. I mean, Xin Zhao and Mundo were able to flank behind the Spire Rats, but Scion prevented Orianna and Ashe from connecting with them. That means you have no damage. Milio keeps everyone nice and toasty with the cozy campfire, and all that damage that they have unable to be used. The closing down of the bot side, taking out any vision and camps they can find, and it was a really good engage by Spire Rats. It looked a little sloppy, but they understand that they have the advantage now. They don't want to wait, and they don't want to give Coopa Troopas the opportunity to set up a fight. So they just fully commit. They kill one member. That guarantees you a numbers advantage, and they know that they can use that time, plus their better champions for this point in the game, to take the first inhibitor.
I mean, honestly, they bid their time. They weathered out the storm, and they're really kind of showing their stuff now. It was a very difficult storm, to say the least, from Cooper Troopas, but it's looking like this window of opportunity of winning this game one is rapidly closing. Like we mentioned, the Drakes not being secured here. You're one away again, and it's coming up around in only 2 minutes. And then now it's like, are you even going to last long enough for the soul? And how are you going to get into that dragon pit?
Everyone's
As we
running
see
top.
Rise coming in right now. Here we go. J4. Oh, nice bait there. Realizing this dangerous situation there and not going to get himself caught there. As Spore, it's going to be a full 4 here. About 50 on Baron as well, too.
Yeah, they're trying to push down the appropriate waves as much as they can with the Baron spawning. Mundo has no teleport and is on the bottom side of the map split pushing, so if they want to get this Baron, they're going to have to connect soon. You see Sion proxying the wave. Now Oriole's all alone.
Oh, no. Yeah, everyone else went back home, but didn't wait for Oriana to be able to go home either. And now that's going to be an easy tier 2 before Mundo himself can even get to their bottom. Sion going to recall pretty quick. Also has the unstoppable force as well to get himself back to bot to slow down Mundo, and has TP over him as well too, just in case if needed. So we should see the closing moments here of this game very soon. How the way these guys have been playing it. 31 minutes and pushing. Baron is summoned. Xin going to get picked. Nice knockback there from the Melia from Miracle Whips. But they're not going to follow up much more for it. But they are going to clear out that wave, trying to choke out this vision in the Coopa Troopas camps right now in their jungle, as they now go for their second Baron here. Mundo pushing forward, trying to get that vision out for his team to hopefully try to circumvent this objective being secured by the Spire Rats.
Zinder has a chance to get in there.
Uh-oh. Little miss there. Xin going to be the focus, which is fantastic. No smite, no secure. Xin soaking up a lot of damage. Morgana coming in to help out as well, too. J4 on those cooldowns. And now Sion, just a wall there, taking all of 4 damage there from the side of Cooper Troopers. They will find Oriana, but Xin will then match it to find Sion and Avaris. And oh no, Cooper Troopers bringing this back somehow. Miracle Whips is going to fall too. Rise on the run as Xin is taking the damage as Baron from well too. They have to be careful. Baron going to help out Rise a bit, and that's going to be one. Morgana on a 1%. Going to blink and you miss it. Make a magic trick disappear as the Black Shield going to make Mundo ginormous. Morgana on 1, still pushing forward, using the phase to try to help out for the vision. But my gosh, that was looking like Koopa's Troopas right there. But now, all of a sudden, it's looking pretty comfortable for Ember Magma the entire time. The Winions going to find a base turret and bring a 1 down for the Rats.
I mean, it almost was disastrous, as you said. January Snow and Jolts went over the back of the wall to try and prevent Xinjia from getting in, but the rest of their team could not collapse, and Oriana Shockwave came through and forced Rise and Varus back. And now Spore on this Rise, who saved the game by killing 2 at Baron, now going to pick up the Dragon, put themselves on Dragon Soul. And Chemtake, generally considered to be one of the worst souls on its own, but when you have 3 Chemtech Dragons, that's so much extra damage when low, that's so much extra damage reduction. I mean, some of these champions now having full items, it's going to be so difficult for champs like Jarvan and Sion to die because of all 3 of these being stacked up. And you saw it in the last fight, Sion face tanking for so long. Emilio does have some extra healing with the redemption in pocket, but on the other side, we have 3.5 tank items for Mundo. Jarvan has a 4th full item. Rabadon's on Oriana, and Infinity Edge for Ashe means that, you know, the scaling is very on board for some of these champions that require multiple items, but once you get this deep in a game, once almost every member starts having full build, scaling becomes less and less relevant. It just becomes more of a mechanical showdown.
No, it really is, and I think the items are really more set for the Spire Rats here too. As they're getting onto their third, fourth, you're only starting to see that on the other side as well too for Cooper Troopas, and helping out with those, getting those chemtricks as well too, is just gonna help them kind of sustain and get over this Cooper Trooper damage. And they have to be careful as yet again, Ash just gonna fall right into that decimating smash. Zion just waiting into the bush, not being warded. The Black Shield going to help with that Dark Binding. But now it's just going to be a push forward for Ash. No flash as the EQ Cataclysm is going to find the redemption, going to kill some of that damage there. Morgana with the Hourglass. The Dark Chains is not going to be enough there, as now they are definitely now almost for certain going to be able to close this game one out. Rats bringing this back from the Cooper Troopas, but they still have to play their cards properly as we
Yep.
are coming up to the 37-minute mark.
Yeah, the 30 seconds, they have a 5v3, and they're still thinking about playing it safe and going back for the bear, and they finally decide they want to try and end the game.
As we see, it makes a lot of sense there, but there goes that power at Chemtake, just soaking up damage, sustaining, not dying there, and now they're just clearing up the rest of the Cooper Troopas, and finally now going to be able to
The
follow.
bot Nexus is respawned.
There it is. There it is. But it's okay. It's all right. We finally got it. 31-21, 9K gold lead. GG's well played for Spire Rats, coming back and winning our game one.
Wasn't always clean. Wasn't the cleanest game I've seen, but once they got ahead, they were consistently able to find ways
100%.
back into the game. They drafted well, and I mean that draft paid off when they got nearly wiped around Bear, and having the strength of Rise still there. Everyone built well and didn't shake, but also shout out to Koopa Troopa. They did get quite far ahead. They continued to find opportunities. I'd like to see them draft a composition that rewards that type of play a little bit more.
Right. We mentioned it a little earlier. It was just a little lacking. It wasn't a full five comp that had everything set in mind. It feels like they were trying to compensate for dealing with the Rats' early picks from being on blue side. So it was really almost there, but it wasn't in the terms of impossible. So no, I have to totally agree with you there, Jack.
Yeah, we do still have quite a lot up and available for game two. Like I said, the Jace was practiced. Rumble, Malphite, Nico, and Bessa. Yunar was getting played on the other side. I think I'm not sure who the Dr. Pinky is, if that's just another account for Husky Templar. But if that's your best player down there, I am an Ash enjoyer. I like the champ, but having your best player on it in a game, like maybe we try something like Aphelios,
Right.
Yunara,
Right.
Kaisa. Let's get them on something that can really push the tempo and win you the game.
So, with that being said, we're just going to take a quick break. A picks and drafts coming up for game two, coming up momentarily. And we will be breaking that down. And hopefully, you'll be sticking with us. So, we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere, guys. Keep it locked.
I've got to get out of this place. Someday I'm getting on that train.
Hey, EML, we are back. Just a quick little break. Game one. If you're just coming in and tuning in with us, went to the Spire Rats. Cooper Troopas are falling behind. And then now they're going to have to bring it back in this best of three series. It is your boy Huey with me on the table is my guy Jack as we get into this draft.
And already you're seeing Spire Rats switch over to red side. Koopa Troopa had the right to pick the side based on the game one results. They pick blue. I think it's a wise decision. They use it to grab up the Jinx. Bans, I'm
Smart.
assuming Koopa Troopa banned something in that middle one and then they just typed it in the lobby. But Vagar, something Aatrox, and then Spire Rats bans stay consistent. Already though, I like this Caitlyn to neutralize the bot lane. I think Talia is one of the strongest mid laners available with the Ori. Never mind, forget everything I just said. They locked in Zillion, and if this gets locked in, I think maybe you're putting a little bit too much into your AD carry.
It might be going bot. I don't think it's going to be going. I don't think it's going to be going 100% mid lane. There's no way that it is going to go mid.
That's much.
As we start to see the rest of it going, we're going to see the vibe picked up there. Caitlyn and Talia for the Rats. As we do see the Jinx, I think that's definitely going in the bot lane. I'm fine with that going to the bot lane, honestly. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah, Zillion.
But mid, I'm a little scared.
Zillion support is something that I despise. I ban it if I'm bot lane in solo queue. It's so annoying. The ultimate is so obnoxious for 2v2s, and throughout the rest of the game, being able to just constantly fight without fear of dying for the Jinx will be great. And Nami getting picked up, though, is strong for Caitlyn. This champ has really risen in priority. Even around a bunch of other engaged supports, Nami has stayed prevalent, especially with some of the strongest AD carries. And I think it works well with Caitlyn because you can apply those extra damage E bubbles from such a long range. It's just a great way to buff this Caitlyn up even further. You do leave yourselves vulnerable, multiple immobile targets for the Vi to go after.
Yeah, 100%. And squishy as well, too. So as soon as this Vi does lock somebody down, it's about a wrap. Not a lot of CC to really, hold her down there as well, too, as she does find her way into the back line. So it's going to have to be,
Pleasure.
it's going to have to be up to, sorry about that. It's going to have to be up to these last round picks to get that front line that really helped the Spire Rats find themselves ahead and get themselves that late game push into victory against Cooper Troopas that we just saw.
I'm interested seeing Koopa Troopa Black focusing on mid lane bans at all. This Mel ban, very perplexing. This is new. This is the most recent patch, live patch 16.3. So the Mel adjustments have come through. I don't think it's as damning as other people are saying. It's definitely weaker now than it was. But the other ban going towards top side, and that will allow January Snow to pick up their Amumu. I have written down in my notes for January Snow, they're up, Masters 100 level player, but I just wrote down low elo champs because their entire champ
That's
pool,
crazy word.
Their entire champ pool is like they're playing Nautilus jungle, Amumu jungle, Hecarim jungle, Sejuani jungle, and I'm like, these are all like good champs, but it's not typically Masters level stuff.
So the thing is, you get to focus on other things going on in the game while you play the low, quote unquote, low elo IQ champs. You don't have to really worry about having to get into your Q1, Q2, Q3. You can really focus on the map. Being able to do all that and once, I give it to everybody who's able to do that. But overall, looking at Spire Rats, I do like their wombo combo that they're bringing themselves.
Yeah, and now we're going to see a much different attitude out of the top lane for Koopa Troopa. I will say, Sad Now on the Mundo did recover from their horrible laning state. They were very useful throughout the course of the game on the Mundo. But now, locking in Olaf, not going to be tank v tank, at least based on some preliminary hovers. I don't want to talk on the hovers too much. I'll steep on
Right.
Coopa Troopa. They got plenty of damage, plenty of follow-up. I'm just a little bit worried about their initial engage. If the Vi doesn't find the perfect target, then they don't really have any other lockdown tools that aren't very like skill shot reliant, whereas Spire Rats have a couple different ways to force the start of a fight. Spire Rats also have an actual front line that they can put down and rely on, at least somewhat, with the Amumu Trundle combo.
I like it. I'm feeling the Spire Rats a bit, but Cooper Troopa aren't really slacking anywhere in terms of damage. Again, it's just a front line. But I get with Olaf, it kind of helps Vi, but the thing is they're not really looking for that to be their job. They're not looking to be the front line. They want to skirmish, they want to be fighters, they want to be bullies. So I don't know. I think it's a bit of a toss up for me for the side of Cooper Troopa.
Yeah, I feel like when people see the Trundle, they think it has to come in against some sort of tank. And against tanks, obviously, Trundle does help, makes them actually killable. But against bruisers, it essentially turns them into like support level health
Right.
bars where they can just get annihilated. So if Vi or Olaf wants to really go in and lock down a target, it's going to be very difficult for them to commit to it. Now, I think that they did take good lessons away from game one because they were able to continue clawing back, find advantages in the early game, move around the map with coordination. And now they have a team that can actually snowball and can actually take advantage of early game advantages and move it into mid and late game victory.
Yeah, no, I think so. 100%. I think so. So I think it's safe to say we know where this is going. So if you guys are just following or in chat, Gamba is commencing. So be ready to win or lose it all. Those points should be able to be spent very soon, momentarily. As I was mentioning, I think it's safe to say where I think we will be spending our channel points, Jack.
Absolutely. And we can now, as we get things all set, go into what could be our last break before Rift in this series. Stay right here. We will come back after a short break to bring you game 2.
I've got to get out of this place. Someday I'm getting on that train.
Yeah, no, we are already in game, ladies and gentlemen, and boom, first blood off the map. Welcome, and be sure to be locked in right now. The Spire Rats already cooking up and able to find that solo bolo in at the top lane. Jolts being that guy for us. If you are just tuning in, this is game 2 of Ember Magma League for Ember Esports, the Spire Rats versus Coopa Black. This is the Master Hundreds League. It is your boy Huey. With me on the table is my guy Jack, and already it's looking pretty good for this game too.
Yeah, your selling goes from support in game 1 back up top lane. Sad now goes to bottom lane, and I'm sure that Sad now is going to be thinking, thank God I'm not up there anymore, because Jolt was getting solo kills on Scion. Now it's made a whole lot easier playing the Trundle. It was a level 1 solo kill as well. Didn't even need more than one ability. Other than that, looks like most of the positions stayed static, and also the Zillion wasn't the lock. Sona was what they settled on, and now
Gotta be careful, but gonna match back that burst with those stone throws, but not gonna be able to find the complete finish there, as we do see Vi in the bottom side of her jungle, Mooble on the red side of his, as now it's gonna finally get a little quiet on the rift here, as everyone just kind of positioning and getting themselves ready for the rest of this game. My gosh, though, already explosive in the top lane, though.
And it does look like Fairy Snow clearing up their first full clear. Now up on that top side, hovering just in case, but it was a mirrored start by just about to finish there. First clear to bottom crab. It does show a bit of a difference from game 1, as the Spire Rats are going to have priority on this bot side, regardless of Scuttle being captured by Vi. Last game they lost all 3 first dragons, and now if they're looking to close out tonight with a 2-0, this could be a good way to do it. Is start.
I mean, I think it's a good approach there. I was a little concerned with how many dragons Coopa Troopas were getting, so I think that's the focus here that I want to see from the Spire Rats, is a little more early game objective control, as we see Trundle into Frozen Domain, gonna grab that object as well too, going to freeze him and get that quick chomp. That chomp gonna break the AD out of Vi, gets the Frozen Domain up, and if he had 2 more seconds or flash, I think he might have been able to turn that.
And if they had more minions around them, they could get that Trundle passive going and start gaining health for each one.
Oh, very close there with the Q.
Now the bot lane just continuously pushed in all the way. Spore and whichever players got their streamer mode on, going at it toe-to-toe in the mid lane. Talia was able to get a tier off their first back, so they will have a bit of an edge in terms of the sustained trade patterns. But as we look across the rest of the Rift, Vi hasn't taken a back since getting that top kill, so we won't be able to see what they get out of that. But Amumu grabbing the burn item component of Leandri's means that they're going to be able to really accelerate their clear speed, and using that accelerated time to walk up to
Pillars
top
down. A nice flash into the bandage toss. Gonna get the despair running. Double stun. No escape here. Oh, the ignite and the burn. Man, if these guys were playing Wild Rift, these ults would be ready to go. These level 5 engages just lacking in the ult department here.
Yep, and because of the ghost on Olaf, they'll just walk out.
And yeah, unfortunately, Vi gonna get caught in the wrong area there. Going to have flash unavailable either, so can't really hop back into the wall, over the wall to secure with Smite. So they're gonna pick up an easy Drake there for the Spire Rats. Coopa Troopas lacking a little bit, but the Ziggs picking up some CS here, as we do see Talia coming out from the other side of the river here. The other side, on the left side of the river, is not warded, and Olaf is coming down from Amumu, trying to take away. And I think they were able to grab that with despair. I think the bandage toss hit Olaf. The Weaver's Wall coming in. Now Olaf in a very terrible situation. Gonna have to walk through all those rocks and does not have the sustain or damage for it. The Mega Death Bomb from Ziggs went off in Amumu's face, and he's going to live with one. A crazy turn of events there, but the Spire Rats on top over everything.
Yeah, and it was a great Weaver's Wall to prevent Ziggs from being able to fully enter that fight. All they could do was throw out their spells, which usually is enough, but not being able to use the short
Right.
fuse passive, get those big autos off, means that Olaf is just completely cut off. No flash, no ghost. They just die in the unraveled earth and keep getting thrown back to this bottom lane. And I think OJ and Miracle are doing exactly what their job is, just keeping them under turret, trying to deny as much CS as possible. And on the top side, Jolt's now having a champ with complete priority, is taking advantage of it. We might get a little overzealous here. Vi is up.
Nice bait there from a selling, walking forward, thinking Trundle like, hey, you're out of position here. And oh my gosh, that frozen the main difference there with the healing. No anti. You are in the troll zone as he picks up 2-4-0 by himself in the top lane.
Had the 2-level advantage on Olaf, subjugates Vi. It's exactly what you brought up in the draft. If you are a bruiser and you get subjugated, your health bar just evaporates. You have absolutely no resistances. And when Trundle's stealing all your health and your armor and your AD, he's going to do it again.
You thought he went to go spend a gold, and you're lacking, and you're in trouble there, honestly. And you're just blinded there by the greed, and unfortunately, you're gonna get picked up there, and that's gonna be a third overall 5 kills here as we do rotate over onto the bot lane there. Ziggs with a great rotation, he's gonna be able to pick up Simpson, and Nami on the run, trying to get the flash, living on one, the auto, one more flash forward. Derpy gonna be able to pick one up, so it's not the end of the world here for Coopa Troopas just yet.
That is well done. They did that in game 1 as well, able to move around the map and still pick stuff up even when one side was struggling. Olaf is able to get under turret, but the proxy is alive, and in season 16, your quest progression...
It's crazy.
Your quest progression is not upgraded unless you're in front of your turret, so you can't really go back, and now he's just gonna die.
And yeah, you think you're gonna be able to at least to gentleman's it, though. And yeah, Curse of the Sad into the munch. See you later. I think they were able to secure 6 there at least, hopefully.
I hope so for them
Ragnarok
too.
can help them a little bit, but yeah, this is a definitely difficult lane here. Simpson going to be able to match that back there after being able to shop. But here comes Vi, charged up, ready to go. Focus on to Caitlyn. Ult is available as well too. Oh no, it's not. But Couch Potato still is able to pick it up. And Nami on the run. No flash available. Is going to get picked up. That's going to be 2. So at least they're able to get something here. The Weaver's Wall, though. Amumu is also available. Going to be able to bring down that the rocks. Talea going to be able to pick it up from over the wall, and now the C4 going to pop Amumu, but going to match that with a bandage toss. But the Mega Death Bomb going to find the flash after Vi, chasing after Talea. It's going to be enough. Ziggs finds it with the Q auto. See you later. So a lot of chaos in the bot lane as we head over to the top side here. Trundle going to be able to quest complete, drop the pillar, and now get him into the tri-bush, forcing Olaf to just run away. Forcing the main drop yet again, but not going to be enough. Very, very close. But overall, not the end of the world just yet. But that top lane is something that needs to be studied.
Yeah, the rest of the map is looking good. Now the teleport coming in behind Talia's back bot side.
Okay. Whew, I thought it was Trundle. So he's going to be able to help out, assist out Nami, get her out of the danger as Caitlyn has rotated over to the mid lane there. Nice use of their temple there, not lacking anywhere and not letting any of the minions be reset or the waves get manipulated from the Cooper Troopas. I gotta say, very nice touch there.
Yeah, they did a bit of a swap here. Both AD carries going mid. Jinx has to go match that. Not the worst position for Jinx to be in, and we see a very similar play out to this game where the Spire Rats top lane is so far ahead, but the rest of the map lagging behind. Let's see if they'll be able to reconnect. And we do have a dragon on the board. Chemtech is there. We had 5 of them last. Oh, but Jinx
Oh
too far
no,
forward.
nice catch. Add the bubble. It's a trap. See you later. Ah, a really unfortunate misstep there. Nice execution and realizing that they're in danger there. And now Raptor's going to get quickly picked up there by a Mumu and going to kind of find a slight lead here in terms of CS as Vi tries to push forward here with Olaf. But Olaf, I don't know if this is really it. Even with the Sona back up, there goes the Ragnarok. The Bandit Charge going to go. Ace in the hole going to find Olaf. The Bandit Charge following forward. Curse of the Mummy going to find 2 as Vi comes out of the bush onto Caitlyn. The rest of the Cooper Trooper squad is here, and they are going to be able to pick up a decent amount off that exchange. They're going to get 4 for that.
Yeah, they go in without a numbers advantage, and even though your top lane is extremely far ahead, even though the enemy Olaf is 1-7 after that fight, I mean, it can still fight, can still throw those axes down and beat out a squishier champion. We do see the inner top tier turret go down, and if Trundle can continue this split pushing, it might be a quick night. Just because the rest of your team isn't doing well doesn't mean that Trundle has to relent on their push. Some of the other items coming through, though, Talia almost has that Saracen Brace completed. Yuntal's on the Caitlyn. Got Imperial Mandate on Nami as well, so that will be extra damage in this bottom lane. But Ziggs has the Ludens and is putting out so much damage. Did well in game 1, also with the Orianna, and really trying their hardest to bring this game back, but top lane again.
Suffering is the best way to say it. Ghost's gonna have to be proc there and used just to skedaddle on out of there to get away from the troll, and just try and do their best they can into getting themselves back into the game. And it's always a difficult position to be. You know, it happens. It happens to everybody. Okay, we're at the pinnacle, at the tippity top, and it still happens. It never ends. You know. It's always the best of how you get out of yourself out of the said situations. And you're seeing it right now, right before your eyes, being able to still matter in certain team fights and in certain aspects of the game. So you just got to figure out how to get yourself back in and continue using those avenues. As we do see Ziggs going to get caught by the pillar there. C4 still available, but no jump. Maybe a little of a walk away. Nope, no. Going to get caught there. Spore not really missing there on those pickups there.
Flash was almost back up and available for Ziggs.
Nice, there it is again.
Olaf
going to have to take almost over 50 there. Probably going to head over the wall, grab Raptors. I think this tower is going to have to be given up there as this siege is pushing forward. Spire Rats using their power there to get mid tower. 1-1 right now. Excuse me, 3-1 or 3-0 in terms of towers.
Oh, it's a huge collapse coming in bottom lane.
Oh man, the 4-man collapse right now. I think they do know. They definitely have eyes on a Mumu here. Curse of the Sad Mummy is available. Vi looking for something. I don't know if this is it. Ziggs pushing forward as well too. Olaf is there too with Talea. Talea does have Weaver's Wall to match with the rest of the team, and I think they're going to give it up. Oh, that was very spooky. I don't even know if Cooper Trooper really knew the dangers that they really were in.
They got even luckier because the wave had just died. If Red Side's minions had been there, they would have gotten dove for sure. And with the extra home guards, improved boots, Ziggs waddled in there so fast to stop that dive from coming through. It does mean that they aren't able to respond as quickly onto the top side of the map. Couch Potatoes still not finishing the recall, and Rift Herald is available. Mumu probably going to clear their Raptors and Krugs and move up there. But Olaf, still, I would say I'm tracking 2 things. I have not seen a Flame Horizon in a while, and Jolts has the potential to do it.
That's close.
And also, I don't know what the latest quest completion I've seen is. Is Caitlyn's...
Uh-oh. Caitlyn about to get caught there. Is going to get caught. Talia a little late with the Weaver's Wall. Going to try to find a 1-for-1 as Amumu going to take this time to pick up the objectives on the top side there. Sona keeping themselves afloat. That healing sustain really starting to shine here in this mid game as we are 12-12 here. But it is a 3K gold lead to the side of Spire Rats.
Yeah, for all of the early skills that Spore has hit, missed a couple key threaded volleys, missed a seismic shove, doesn't allow them to get those extra kills on the bottom lane. Amumu has picked up the Rift Herald. They gave it to Jolts once again. Makes sense. Your split pusher has already taken 2 turrets down. You might as well let them have that to pressure the base. I would say that maybe allowing the Talia to go topside, get some more farm, and try and match what the Ziggs is at, and put Trundle bot side to start clearing out those turrets might be a decent strategy right now, but that isn't the opening. We're seeing 30 seconds until Dragon spawns. Trundle has access to a teleport, whereas Olaf still hasn't completed the quest, so they have to, if they want to be in this fight, they have to just walk there.
It's really unfortunate. I like the idea you have for Ziggs to kind of push out here for the Coopa Troopas, but I don't know if Ziggs can really be out by himself with Jolts being as big as they are, Spore being able to collapse on them as well too. Just, I don't know, it's a scary situation to be. It's rough losing that early game there. Now trying to transition into this mid to late game, but they are kind of finding their way there. The Rift Herald was already secured by Amumu by January Snow, so they are going to push that into the mid, so it has to be dealt with as they trap up that river walkway from blue side, and yeah, they're just going to be able to pick up the Ocean Drake, which I think is probably the worst Drake for Coopa Troopas.
Yeah, they played it really smart, really safe. One of the easiest strategies to secure the Dragon is putting down Rift Herald in the mid lane, forcing the enemy team to respond to it. And now with plates being on all the turrets, Trundle just puts the eye down, immediately gets 360 gold in their pocket, chases the Jinx out of the enemy jungle. It is only the second Dragon because they did lose that team fight around the Chemtech one, so haven't got as much stacking as they'd like, but they have other things going for them. Amumu has already completed the Sunfire Aegis, so that's an extra tank item in their pocket. Talia's just sitting bot side trying to complete this Rylai's. Still quite a ways behind Ziggs' damage output, and based on this itemization, they aren't going to catch up anytime soon, but not the same purpose they provide to their team. I would still like to see Trundle go to this bottom side and start pushing those turrets down. I really don't think there's any champion on the side of Coopa Troopa that can match him.
No, I think they're going to have to bring at least 2. And even then, it's still very risky. On the other hand, I do like the grouping, knowing like, hey, look, like Trundle is around. He can join the team and almost at any moment. Speaking of, going to catch Olaf in the shop. Olaf being able to grab a little bit of gold. He's finally like, oh, what am I going to be able to get here? And I think might be able to get away here. They're going to take that as their time to try to get the vision close out here. As we see Curse of the Sad Mummy coming in. The big tidal wave over from Nami. As Ziggs tries to C4 their way over the wall. Doesn't get themselves. Reinforcements coming in a little late. But they are going to be able to pick up 2. The TP coming in as well too. Add in the Ragnarok. And somehow that becomes Coopa Troopa's fight right before Baron.
They way overextend just to try and kill Ziggs. Amumu does get the flash ult onto them, able to lock them into the pit, but that leaves Talia vulnerable. Caitlyn is mid lane, can never reconvene with the rest of their team. Trundle did get an extra push on top side, got that inhibitor turret down, but they're never going to be able to catch this Vi. I don't know if they can get killed here. Now they can with Jinx being here, but Caitlyn can collapse.
Yeah, Subjugate coming down. Caitlyn going to use the nut to get themselves reposition. Jolt's going to become unstoppable. Caitlyn in a great position. The 50-50 caliber net. Jinx going to dodge the Q. gonna have to run away laterally, cannot regroup with the team. Nice movement and positioning there to not get caught, and they will be able to finally get Jolt for the second time in this game.
That is a huge shutdown to give over to the Ziggs. They died first in that last big fight. They were the only member of their team to go down, so they weren't able to pick up kills with the rest of them. But now they just got an extra 800 gold, just finished the Shadow Flame. So
Nice.
much damage that can be output. Isn't any major objectives that they can realistically go for. Still too early for any of them to try the Baron. Although Spire do have a much better Baron take. You're seeing here, Olaf might be losing the Trundle, but he does pretty well into Talia.
Yeah, man, that was very close. Has to force the Weaver's Wall out of their arsenal there, as they are just starting to get themselves back into this game here. Gonna be able to try to push that wave almost as close as possible to the tower. Not gonna be able to get the full split that they were hoping for, but still bringing able to supply some pressure around the map here.
And that is a sticky situation for Talia to be in. They itemized for pretty much solely being able to facilitate for the rest of their team, putting down the Unravel. They're finding shoves, slowing down multiple targets. When you go Rylai's second, it really hinders your total damage output. If you go something like Leandri's, which is what it looks like they're going next, can help you a little bit. Now Caitlyn's going way far forward.
Nice. So close to it. Gonna try to get Jinx out of this fight. They're going to have to be careful there. Nice block and an ace in a hole. But now, unfortunately, Sad going to be picked up for the Jinx instead. Drake is up in only 10 seconds, so they will have disadvantage, or they will have advantage, while Sona is gone for about 25 seconds.
Yeah, incredible decision making there for Spire Rats. You kill the support, it's a 4v5. Sona is going to be so much of your sustain, of your ability to continue these fights. Jinx ult won't be there. Ziggs ult too early. That is soul point for the Spire Rats. Olaf already used Ragnarok, has flash available, and I still don't think they win this 2v1.
No.
Oh, disgusting.
I don't think so either.
Vandal Pipes in Trundle's inventory, third item. This
Really
is gross.
interesting, man. We were mentioning and talking about how Rise benefits so much from the new items, but really a support item being picked up, the gold benefit there is gotta be insane, honestly, now that I think about that.
Yeah, because the active is giving you, it's like 30% attack speed, 20% movement speed for the Trundle as well, and it's only 2,300 gold. First time I've ever seen an item get a 300 gold increase without a single stat change. That's how broken this item was on release. And I mean, they just saw another nerf to the Protoplasm Hex Plate because too many junglers were taking it. Mundo was taking it jungle, and that Vandal Pipes is still a very good item, and all Trundle has to do is chomp someone or land a pillar, and the slow will activate
and chase him down. Yep.
Meanwhile, on the other
Crazy
side,
word.
experimental Hexplate for Olaf, so they're understanding that they have to be useful now. So going for some items that can give them extra buffs instead of just pure stats makes a lot of sense, and they're finding another fight against Talia.
Oh, nice flash over the wall there. Gonna drop some earth, but I don't know if it's gonna be enough. Ace in the hole going to help out. Nice separation. Going to be able to knock him away right after the Ragnarok cooldown. My gosh, that was a nail biter for sure, as Trundle not going to be unfazed, unbothered. You wanted him in the bot lane, you got him in the bot lane, and you can just see how much damage this man is putting onto towers, as Ziggs is going to be able to pick one up by putting in some work on Nami, but Amumu is going to go and help out their friend. Big giant wave to try to separate the rest of the team from Coopa Troopa to just give him enough time to grab Couch Potato. It's going to be enough, as now Trundle going crazy in the bot lane. That's going to be a triple, though, here for Caitlyn. Looking for one more. The hook or the net into the queue. Sona on the run. They won't give him the quad, but now they're going to set their sights onto this bottom inhibitor, the top inhibitor open, and also going to be looking for this Baron. This is a hard spot to be in for sure. Ember side of Cooper Troopas.
They just lose everything. Vi goes way too deep. They fight Caitlyn in like her dream scenario. She's standing in a bush where she can't get targeted, just shooting everyone. So many extra headshots. Once they get those 3 kills, they're able to push down mid lane, get the bottom inhibitor, they get the Baron. Now they're taking all the jungle camps, which is such a good fight because Amumu was able to stay alive for so long with Nami healing them up because Vi's focus was split. And that meant that Talia could just sit over the wall, throw their abilities over. Caitlyn understanding how much of a threat, or that the only threat on the enemy team is getting hit by Ziggs abilities, which half healthed her. She got hit by 1 bomb and it half healthed them. But also just Vi and Olaf, if they decide to just run at Caitlyn, it's going to make her job very difficult. So she grabbed the Seeker's arm guard after getting 3 damage items. Understanding the rest of the team has plenty of damage. Now Jinx could be dead.
Oh man, caught out in their unawares. That is not your jungle anymore. Spore going to be able to pick up their pinky there. Vi on the run and skedaddling. Caught on the vision in the pit. I don't know if you really should even be there. Zig's going to be able to at least grab an outer turret. And then now you see the rest of the Spire Rats starting to push in on the last base tower with this minion wave finally crashing with them. And then Trundle just going to ignore that tower and set their sights forward. Big damage going to come in with the bomb, but the Hourglass going to keep everybody up. And Trundle just going to walk through it after that frozen domain. And the minions just helping them heal. The top inhib not going to be the focus. The base towers are a big way from Nami to get them away. There goes 1, there goes 2. Vi coming in, the assault and battery, forcing him onto the back, and blink and you miss it. She's gone a 0 to 100 real quick as the redemption helps sustain the rest of the Spire Rats. And now they're looking at to the Nexus, the 30, the 20. See ya later. Good night. As Coopa Troopas, unfortunately, is going to have to take another 2-0 tonight.
It doesn't really show how strong a team they are. Obviously, they have some problems. They're 0-4 on the season now, but it's not like they were completely incompetent in these games. We're able to pull it back in some spots. I just think they got to get this top lane situation figured out because unless Jolts is just that guy, even though they're technically a sub on this roster, you got to figure out that solo lane because you're finding advantages mid lane. You're finding them in the bottom lane with your coordination. But if you have an enemy Trundle who's 7-0 before the game even really starts, it's like, how do you find a way to win these games?
I think that's going to be the big answer for these upcoming weeks. I think that is going to be it for us tonight. Ember Magma League. What a great set here. But the Spire Rats going to close out on a 2-0. Very, very clean win. And GG's well played to everyone. Be sure to follow the socials in the links and in the chats below so you guys can keep up, get the schedule, and you can check me and Jack out the rest of the weeks and the leagues as well too. So with that in mind, Ember Esports, it is your boy Huey. Of course, it's been a pleasure, Jack. Thank you all so much. And of course, again, a huge shout outs to production in the back, making us look very pretty. And of course, to my boy Sekio. Thank you so much, bro. I love you. Happy birthday, bro. Mwah, mwah, mwah. All right. Thank you all so much and good night.